Okay, I guess we will start the stream.
And I did not claim Bree.
Since when did they let you preview these things? Yeah. We're going out of this camera.
This one? All right.
All right. No, this one.
I know.
You dingus?
All right.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Greenfire Games unboxing videos. Today we got a very exciting one for me and Will.
Hi, everyone.
Another Star Wars fanatic and his hands. These are the 3 new releases for Imperial Assault. They're new. They basically released the new miniatures for the Rebels, the Scum faction. Are they still called Scum? That's what I'm going to call them.
Scum.
That's what I'm going to call them. And the villains. So you got a bunch of new heroes to add in and hopefully shake up some of the meta that we've got going on right now with Imperial Assault. Either way, you can always expect good quality miniatures out of the box.
Of course.
I know you're someone who's been painting yours, so I'm sure you're very excited to hopefully get. I really am curious to see what you do with Syndulla.
That's correct, Andy. One of the things, obviously, I'm very interested in how these cards and these upgrades are going to work into my current meta or the list I'm making just for fun or for competitive uses. But definitely very excited to see how Fantasy Flight has provided us models to just bring out those details. And knowing my ability to paint has always been very. It comes out when it comes down to the miniatures that Fantasy Flight.
You've been doing an excellent job. Like
Thank
all
you,
of your Trandoshan hunters in particular looked really cool. I like how you had different shades.
Yeah.
We should get some pictures of those. So, which one do you think we should open up first?
Well, you know what? I'm relatively very excited to see how the Triple O and I don't know if that's how they call them. Let's take a look at
BT-1 and 000. I'll admit I'm not the most familiar with these characters. I just recently learned about them in Vader Down. All I know is that they're psychotic killer versions of R2D2 and C-3PO.
Of course, that's always a...
Yeah.
Well, I thought the psychotic versions of C-3PO and R2D2 is C-3PO and R2D2.
I mean, these guys are crazy. All I know is in the Vader Down comic, this one has more weapons than you could imagine. And this one's just obsessed with dissecting humans and making them bleed.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious to see how they will play in, because I've been tweaking around with C-3PO and R2D2, and they're all focused on buffing and kind of helping. I'm kind of curious if these will be more offensive.
Now, naturally, the Rebels have always, when it comes down to Fantasy Flight, Rebels have always been dependent on buffing. And of course, using non-attacking units to buff their stats and their abilities, and just the ability to play in these tabletop games. So this is interesting to see how
You want to open those?
Imperial faction is going to handle that.
Ooh, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with.
No, look at that guy.
000. Is that? Yeah, I believe. I can never. I'm terrible. I can't remember which one is.
This one is.
I want to say that's 000.
BT-1.
This is BT-1. Okay. I'm gonna lower that camera a bit so you can get a look at these, but really love the detail and the almost comical, cartoonish weaponry coming out. I think he will be a fun one to paint. And have you opened up the character cards?
Yeah. Just like as expected, we have 2 mission cards for the. We have 2 mission cards here for the skirmish mode that is available for the two-player games, and we have a 3 influence cards here: the etiquette and torture, missile salvo, and invasive procedure, which is
there we go.
We're a bit interested. We're gonna probably have a little bit.
Yeah, but if I put my hand here, so we're gonna have some time. But besides my giant hand, enjoy some of the fine detail on these little guys. I really can't wait to see. So you opened up.
Yeah.
Of course, you get your 2 skirmish missions, like you were saying.
Your 3 influence cards and the both.
Add these to your campaigns, which seems like I really got to put more into the campaign.
Both units are elite versions, so that's the red card. And we have a...
Sorry, I'll just fix the focus here.
We have an attachment card. Sorry, go ahead, finish up with that.
Oh, no, I was just going to go into some of the details here. So, yeah, these guys definitely seem like they are going to be more full frontal as far as attack goes, unlike C-3PO and R2-D2. So I'm going to move the miniatures back here. Just kind of hold up. So as you can see, some of the surges, you got Pierce 2, devastating, Blast 1, so you can do some good damage to groups, and even it can recover.
Yeah.
So a surge can recover 1 damage, and he has a health of 10, which actually makes him pretty durable.
That's
I
a
mean,
pretty meaty robot.
Yeah. So what is it? Assassin. Before you declare an attack, become focused.
Okay.
So that's even more terrifying because focus gives you what, an extra green die, right?
Yep. That's an additional green. Now that's a.
And one of his actions, missile salvo. Perform up to 3 ranged attacks with different targets using 1 blue, 1 red, or 1 yellow die. Limit once per die. Apply 3+ accuracy to each of these attacks. So this is kind of scary because he is. Wow, I don't know what the.
I mean,
that's kind of
you
terrifying.
almost expect us to have a 2 long legs, and basically I'm saying this is.
It's an ATS team compressed down into an astromech, which is utterly terrifying.
Natch.
Shauna, she loves playing the Imperials. I'm sure she's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to really keep an eye out for him. So, man, that is nasty. All right, and then we got 000, Evil C-3PO, Evil 3PO. What does he got here? He's got the Pierce 2 and Recover 2 with surges. So he's another one. He's at a health of 8, speed of 4, similar to most of your standard characters. Defense die is black on both of those, sorry. Now, he is a close-range fighter. Because one of his favorite things to do in the comic I read was he likes to shock people with his hand.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, here we go. Never mind. One of the surges, Shocking Palm. The attack misses, and the defender becomes stunned. That's brutal, because stun can be life or death. And then I love the title of this one, Invasive Procedure, because he's obsessed with dissecting people. An adjacent figure suffers 1 damage, 1 stress, which is bad in skirmish because that's basically 2 damage, and becomes bleeding. You become focused. I'm really hoping Syndulla and Chopper have stuff to deal with this, because these guys are... I know they're supposed to be scary, but yeah, that's ridiculous. Never thought I'd be afraid of, kind of doofusy looking robots.
Along with that, we have a trusty ally attachment. This is a droid-only attachment. And that is, I believe that is a card, noticing the back, I believe this is a 2-on-2 skirmish mode.
Skirmish upgrade. Exhaust this card while another friendly figure in 3 spaces is attacking. It may reroll 1 attack die.
Yeah.
So that is exhaust this card during your activation. An adjacent figure recovers 1 wound or describes a harmful condition. So that's crazy because they basically... Well, now the cool thing is this is neutral. So you can actually use this either way. So this kind of helps turn your droids into even more support. And in the case of these two... It makes them both offensive and defensive for your characters.
I'm interested to see how that's going to play out in the new skirmish modes that Fantasy Flight has been providing for us. So which is a 2-on-2. Interesting. Well, we'll try to read into that later and come back with some more answers.
Of course, you get some fun little extra cards. Rogue AI. So Abandoned Research are the 2 skirmishes that you get. Always like how they keep adding more objectives. And we won't go too deep into detail because we're here for the miniatures and the.
And, we want just as expected, we have 5 command cards. One of them being any figure, and the rest being dedicated to the droids or the characters in the pack. One being for 000, BT-1, and a droid only or a droid and vehicle card, which is I'm sure it's going to see a lot of play. For the metas that have these 2 or one of these units inside its listings. Now it looks like we're going to move into the next pack, which is the Jawa.
I figure we'll save. We're both pretty excited about Syndulla because I've kind of, even though I don't really watch Rebels, I've fallen in love with her because I love using her in Armada.
Yeah, of course, she's definitely a character that I'm sure we're going to see more of in the future.
She's a good character, and I like how she got that little call out in Rogue One.
Yeah, that's something that I'm interested to see.
And I'm sure even the most basic of Star Wars fans are familiar with the Jawas. So, very nice little model there. Not as comically cartoonish as BT and 000, but still love the detailing. on the. This is going to be another one. I think some washes on there will look really cool. Excuse me 1 second, folks. I'm trying to. Our screen seems to have. Yeah, Mike. What's the function to bring up the screen again?
It's you hold on the function button, and I believe F1, whichever one has the one.
Okay.
Now, just as expected, we have
There we go.
we have
Sorry,
two
folks.
mission cards. We'll get into that later. The missions, as expected, 2 mission cards for your skirmish play.
Pardon my giant masculine hand. Hold on 1 second here. So, enjoy some of the details on this little guy. I'm thinking he might be another popular choice. It'd be kind of funny to run like an assortment of them. Sorry, let me figure the. We need to get a dedicated camera for miniatures. That's all this is really.
Yeah, I forget about it too.
Now, this is interesting.
Okay.
This is interesting. I know we're skipping ahead here, but we have a upgrade card for this for the skirmish upgrade, and this is interesting because this is a IG-88 Assassin Droid only upgrade card. So that's kind of that's.
Does IG-88 really need more buffs?
Hey, you know what? I'm a big IG-88 fan, so I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Oh my! What does it do?
I haven't read into it.
+5 health.
So that's interesting.
2 movement points, and before you declare an attack, you become focused. They seem to be really liking the focus mechanic.
Yeah, that's something I personally don't use enough because I don't know.
So this kind of turns him more into a tank almost because he gains health, but he loses the ability to recover health. But you get Pierce 1.
Huh.
So that definitely turns him into. I mean, IG-88 was already a threat.
That makes him a jouster, I like that.
Somebody who can get a little more in.
Now, as expected, we have a generic Jawa scavenger for 2 points, and we're looking at 2 yellow die at range, 2 ranged yellow die, a white defense die, which is always good to have if you have a good rolling hand. Then we have 2 elite cards, one which is a skirmish and one which is a campaign.
Cool. Similar to how they did for Jabba and quite.
Yeah, pretty neat. Both of them sporting the same attack, defense, and speed.
Help you out there.
Yeah. And that's.
No, this probably isn't the best, but as I'm sure you've got anyone out there who's actually curious about this, you've probably already seen these cards because they're all available. Love the artwork, as usual. And what kind of stuff? Let's see, the fun stuff, though. We'll use the... we'll go with the skirmish one, because that's probably going to be the one we're going to see most play of in here until we can get a... We got +2 accuracy automatically. A surge will add +2 damage. Another surge will add another +2 accuracy, so these guys can be very effective at sniping. And another surge will add Pierce 2. So these guys are actually way more threatening than I thought they would be, and their defense is a white die.
Yeah, that's always a bonus.
Which means despite their low health, they can actually completely dodge.
I tend to trust in the die too much, and that's something that's going to give me more play for these guys. And the cost is fantastic.
Yeah, 3. You can use them to fill out. So these might actually be a really popular multi-buy one.
Yeah.
So what do we got here? Bargain. It's a surge. Spend 1 VP to roll 1 green die for each hit result. Gain 1 VP.
Oh, okay. That's actually a very good way to end your skirmish play.
Take cover while defending. You may apply +1 defense and +1 for a -1 surge negate to the defense results. Wow. So not bad.
Not bad. Have a couple of these on the map. You're bringing in an extra 3 or 4 each turn. Looks good.
And then scavenge stock. If your army's affiliation is scum, you may include up to 3 droid groups from any other affiliations in your army. So basically, you could drag in other droids from
R2D2.
So you could have the HK droids that are from the. Those are from the Battle for Hoth or Return to Hoth expansion, right?
That's correct. I believe those are Imperial, though.
But any faction.
Sounds good.
So these guys are scary, and they do have some little differences for the campaign mode. Motivators, friendly droids gain +1 speed and accuracy. Thank God they don't have that in skirmish mode, because then otherwise I don't think we'd ever not see them. And haggle, you get to spend.
They sell for 6 each.
See, I'm not familiar with the campaign mode. What is that? Is that one of the token symbols?
I believe that is a
You don't have to.
Like
I think that's energy, or I think that's threats.
Okay.
I want to say.
So
You know,
you can.
if viewers at home, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, please, because we've mostly been playing around with the skirmish mode. It's been very difficult to get a campaign together. Hoping Fantasy Flight gets that app up and running soon, because that will make it much easier. But so yeah, you got some neat little tricks for your.
Please explain this app that you speak of.
What's up?
This app you speak of?
You didn't hear about the? They've been working on a app that actually will. They did it for Descent. It was called the Road to Legend, I believe.
Okay.
Where essentially that would run as the game master.
Okay.
So they're working on an app for Imperial Assault that'll actually be the Empire.
Oh, that's neat. You know?
And it worked really well for Descent. I just didn't care much for Descent as a game.
Okay.
But it basically, if an enemy, it would take what you have, expansion-wise, and let's say you're playing the game and the Empire gets to bring in a unit, it'll randomly pick from your assortment and bring them in. It automates it, so essentially it's you versus the app.
That sounds good. I mean, I believe we're in the age of technology where that will work well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked good with Descent, and I honestly think it'd be even cooler with the. So.
All right, getting back to this, we have
Yeah.
your 3 influence cards here that will determine that will go into play into the campaign mode. We have salvage operatives, ion blasters, and Jawa ray. We won't get into that since we are once again more interested in the minis. And you do receive 3 of these. 3 command cards. A triangulate, which is a droid only card. Navigation upgrade, which is also another droid-only card, which is kind of letting you know how to play this. It's foreshadowing how you're going to be playing the Jawas in your in your lists. And one
Utini.
and how do you pronounce that?
I thought it was Utini.
Utini. Okay, I'm not going to embarrass myself here, but
Too late.
this is a yeah, you're right. This is a use card that you will use at the start of a round. During this round, each friendly Jawa scavenger gains +1 speed, +1 accuracy, and 1 surge. If you are attacking a figure, gain 1 VP. So once again, another VP hungry list there.
That's really good, though. So far, I'm really impressed with the Jawa, because I have to admit, when I first saw the Jawa as the next character, I'm thinking, that really seemed like something they would have tossed out pretty early on, like the Tusken Raider.
Yeah, well, kudos to Fantasy Flight.
Yeah,
we're making something that might have been something passed over and making them very interesting.
You made the Jawa scary, which
Yeah.
is saying a lot. And the fact that these are available I'm kind of surprised they're available in a single blister, but I think that's not a bad option, because then you can actually you can basically buy as many as you need,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is kind of nice. Because even one is a threat.
Yeah.
So if you want to double the threat, you pick them up.
And lastly, we have a reward card that is going to determine a lot. I believe these are really great for the campaign mode. I'm just going to read real quickly. At a loss of 1 speed, when you deploy a droid group, which is going to come into play here, you may reduce its cost by 3. Which essentially is giving you free Jawa there.
Yeah, which is
if you do attach this card to it, limit 1 per mission. So that's pretty neat. Interesting.
yeah, really crammed a lot of value in there for one model compared to the other 2, which are, speaking of which, I have already loaded them up, and this is kind of the main event for quite a few of us. Like I said, even though I don't watch Rebels, I've grown to really like this character. Syndulla and Chopper, who I know resident X-Wing fanatic and part-time announcer Matt Hay is a huge fan of.
I find him very annoying in the show.
I don't know. I've talked to some people who think Chopper is life.
Oh, well, that's their fools.
But something that needs to be said right off the bat, similar to the previous droid models we saw,
Once again,
detail on these guys is great. Especially Chopper. All sorts of little details that you could really have fun painting. And even without the paint, still just a sharp-looking model.
well,
And then, of course, Syndulla.
Sandula looks like she's going to be a wash-friendly model there. I can't wait to get my hands on one and play around with just the details. I'm not sure if the viewers at home are taking a look or can even see the details in the face.
Yeah, I'm working on. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Sorry for all of our viewers at home.
The details available are at a level they have not seen before. You can see that every.
We'll take some photos and be
Yeah.
sure to have them up in attachment to the video.
I gotta give it to Fantasy Flight. You have just comparing the first run of minis from Fantasy Flight to what they're producing now. Not that they weren't before, but the level of detail, especially in the face, is just incredible. I'm picking this up and I see, I'm looking at eyelids and creases and.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like comparing it to the Jawa. The Jawa has all those folds and wrinkles in its
just beautiful
robe, and BT has all of the you even have individual missile slots.
Yeah, that's pretty
on the
cool.
rocket launcher, which is kind of cool, and same with 000 and everybody.
All right,
But handsome looking lot of miniatures.
So we have, all right, inside the pack we have your two elite cards, one for Hera and Will, which is showing you a ranged attack of 1 green, one blue, and 1 yellow die. Her health is at 7, speed 4, and as a defense die, she will be rolling a black die. Taking a look at what she is.
Actually, you know what?
Inherent.
I got a better idea.
All
Sorry,
right.
folks. We're still getting the hang of these unboxing videos.
Is that good enough for us? Her she naturally will roll a. No, I take that back. Her surge ability will give her one plus damage. 2 surges will give her 2 pierce. She has the call the shots ability. While another friendly figure within 3 spaces is attacking you, may apply +2 accuracy plus 1 damage, or 1 surge to the attack. Results. Limit once per round, and then you have the option of using smooth landing. After deployment, you and each adjacent friendly figure gains 1 movement point, which is pretty neat. Once again,
That could be good for getting in position as fast as
course,
possible,
yeah.
because especially with objectives on the line, that could make or break your strategy.
Yeah, speaking of strategy, it really shows you how they naturally want you to play both. Depending on whether you pick Rebels or the Imperials. May I say that just based on the minis alone, they're actually asking you to just gun ho or use strategy,
Which is
both,
good.
Both are great. I mean, both different play styles, which gives you a lot.
Well, I think that's what the game really needed too, because I have been reading how there was somewhat of a balance issue with like troopers being kind of OP with commands.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm still relatively
Well,
new.
I'll tell you what. I mean, like if you're like me, you don't just play one faction. You play them both. You have fun,
I'm really working on working Rebels right now
I
because
see.
I really like having. And then of course though, fan favorite Chopper.
Chopper, not my favorite, but
I know.
whatever. He still looks like a fantastic model, but we have a Pierce 1 with Pierce 2 with a surge ability, a recover 2 damage with 1 surge, which is
That seems to be a really popular
pretty
ability with
neat.
droids lately.
Yeah, and we have a Ram. That's an action that will move up. You may move up to 2 spaces, then choose an adjacent figure. Doesn't say friendly or not. If that figure is hostile, roll. Oh, now we have.
Okay, now
if
we're
that
getting
figure is hostile, roll 1 green die. It suffers damage equal to the damage results. Then, if that figure is small, push it up to 1 space. So, okay, natural. So you're
So
basically
you can't
ramming.
ram a Rancor.
Yeah,
is what
that
I'm
would
hearing.
that would make sense. I would try, but either way, it
Chopper,
sounds good.
from what I understand about Chopper, he will do that.
Now we have System Shock. Use while
game.
on or adjacent to a terminal. Pretty neat. Choose a figure on an adjacent or sorry, let me read this. I'm in an angle here. Choose a figure on or adjacent to a terminal. Then that figure suffers 2 damage and 1 surge.
Wait. Let me see that.
read that again.
Use while on or adjacent to a terminal. Choose a figure on or adjacent to. So basically, you know, you have the terminals. He could be, from one side of the map to another.
pretty neat for a lot
That's
of,
terrifying because
I can think of a couple of skirmish modes. That
yeah,
would
I can
definitely
really
come in
think of a
handy.
couple ways. So even though I'm not big on Chopper, I might actually add him to my list. I almost want to make an all droid list at this point. I don't think that's really possible, but it'd be pretty funny.
Well, you know what? I could see it happening, especially with the. I believe that's the Tatooine. What is that? The Bespin.
The Bespin Gambit.
Yeah, that one has a lot of.
Did that one come with droids?
I believe so, but I believe they were Imperial droids.
Okay, yeah, they have all the fun.
Now back to this. I think this is your given. You have your A and B skirmish mission cards. We have the. I'm going to pronounce this as best as I can. They're the Quick-Na Infestation. Home, if I mispronounce this, please let us know. Powered Parameter, which is also another one. We'll get into what it means later, but I'm sure viewers at home are already playing this if they're interested in this. Then we have a. Once again, the the new skirmish mode card that is a attachment for droids or vehicles only, scavenger weaponry, that's what it's called. And I'm going to get into what it says. Exhaust this card when you declare an attack to apply 1 damage to the attack results. When the last figure in this group is defeated, you may attach this card to a friendly droid or vehicle group. Your opponent scores VPs for this attachment each time a group it is attached to is defended. Well, that's not.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to
that's
read
why
into
that's
that.
why I didn't get too deep into those because
Yeah,
you know what, those always have some
Yeah.
interesting.
And naturally, we have our our mission card that's going to get Chopper or Harrison Dula out in your team. So interested in that.
So there you have it, all three, and this is really exciting because keeping. Oh yeah, that's right,
and
the
then we
upgrade
have-
cards.
And once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to dedicate to either Hera or Chopper.
This
Command
one I
cards.
kind of glanced at when I was opening it. It's Evacuate. What you can do is, which is pretty cool. Sorry to cut you off, but I read this and I was really excited about it. So basically, if you're near a figure, let's say you have a really high-profile character that's going to die in the next turn, you can spend an action with Syndulla and you defeat that character, but the opponent only receives half the points for them.
That's some strategy.
Half the
right there.
VPs.
I like that.
So if you have a really high-profile character that's like, let's say you have Luke Skywalker or Vader. Oh, yeah, Luke Skywalker. I was going to say Vader, but that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of going in there, tearing stuff up, and then he's about to die because Trandoshans are the worst.
Nah, they're all right.
And no, they're fucking terrible. Pardon my language.
Oops.
I'm sorry. I hate those guys whenever I have to take them on in close combat.
Great.
But you could actually evacuate him and save yourself some victory points if he survives.
Yeah. Now we have a leader, a guardian or vehicle, and a droid or heavy weapon command card. We're excited about these. Well, what do you think, Andy? Do you think this is something that we're gonna?
I really want to get some Imperial Assault games in this weekend.
Okay. I can see that happening.
Because I definitely want to try out. This is one of those cases where I don't know which characters I really want to try first. I'm very curious to see how this is going to affect IG-88 because he's already a scary character. So to have some, I think it's kind of neat that they included because I know in the Empire, the Heart of the Empire, they've included a card that changes how Vader operates.
Okay.
That's going to alter how brutality and force choke works.
I
And
haven't read into it, but
I saw that card, which I think it's kind of cool that they're altering characters after the fact.
Of course, and keeping them relevant.
And just changing, giving people different ways to use them, especially characters that came out at the start of the game. But I love the miniatures, and I honestly think I might actually, after I test out the Jawa, I probably will look into buying 2 more of them. Because having a squad of Jawas seems like it'd be pretty funny.
It's everyone's dream.
I mean, just for what they can do.
Yeah. If I ever have children, they're going to be a squad of Jawas.
A squad of Jawas.
Every
Gotcha.
Halloween.
All right. But I think these are definitely worthwhile if you're already into Imperial Assault. Or new and you're just fan favorites of Rebels, or like I said with these two, I know them mostly from the comics. One comic. These guys, I think, make worthwhile additions to your game, and it'll really shake things up and give you some new strategies, which who doesn't love that in a miniature combat game?
I'm excited. I'm kind of curious to know, viewers at home, how they plan on using some of these characters, these upgrade cards. I'm very curious to know what other people are suggesting we use them for, or metas, or
Well, I do hope we get to stream some Imperial Assault matches, because I would really love to hear
yeah.
some of the deeper fans of the game criticize, or at least give feedback on how we're playing. Because right now, I've mostly been the person teaching in the store after you taught me how to play, and I'd really like to see some tournament level play starting to take place here.
Oh, of course, we definitely welcome it, and we definitely welcome criticism, because that's
how we get better at this.
Exactly.
I'd like to apologize. I know the video is a little shaky at times. We're gonna figure out a better way to really help us get detail on cards and miniatures. But thank you if you've stuck with us. We're going to be putting more Imperial Assault content out there, hopefully battle reports, playthroughs. I know we are trying to we're trying to set up a campaign.
Yeah.
And we would love to actually film that from start to finish.
I think that's something that, if not video, we might
or even
give a recap with images, and
I think that would be pretty fun.
And hope you guys are join us for those. And
be sure to follow the Greenfire Games Facebook page, Twitter, and all that. I'll put the links down there. I'm going to have some photos of these guys up close for anyone who wants to see them.
Yeah.
Even though I know Fantasy Flight already does that, but come on, you get to see them in the wild like this.
Yeah.
It's a whole other experience.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done if you are.
I just want to finish off with some of you at home might recognize the ship in the background. That's Greenfire Games. We do play a lot of X-Wing, Armada, and other Star Wars related games, including some other non-Star Wars related games. We're currently playing Legendary.
We recently had a game of War Machine happening in the background. I got to take place in. Legendary is picking up. We actually have a game of, if you're hearing people talking in the background, there's actually a game of Seafall going on in the background right now, which is rather exciting.
Yeah, so we definitely encourage people to check us out. We are located in Oak Lawn, Illinois.
Actually, hold on, just going back, we also have tabletop RPG happening back there too, and Magic.
It seems like we're facing the wrong direction here for this.
Well, no, you don't want to put everyone on the spot.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Well, once again, check us out, Greenfire Games in Oak Lawn, Illinois. I'm William.
Vandy.
And we wish you a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
All right.